Actually, I heard about a former client of Lafayette, and they're actually the ones who referred me here because they knew I was in a situation where I needed help. So they encouraged me to come here. Through the domestic violence program, it has made me recognize some other things in the abusive situation that I wasn't fully aware of. The physical side of it, the physical was bad, but then some of the other little things that went along with it, that coincided with it, it just made me more aware of that because of the impact that it was having on the children. And as they were becoming adults and how they were interacting in their relationships, made me see how we all needed help, how we all needed healing so they could have success in their future.
My mother sought services at Lafayette House when I was in second grade, and whenever she originally went to Lafayette House, it was for the substance use disorder side. Just two little brothers and their mom trying to set a new life. It has been very rewarding. Whenever I originally was reintroduced through a former staff member and mutual friend, and at that point in time, I hadn't set foot in that place in 20 years. And so from going from a child that was receiving services with their mother to then being invited to sit on the board and participate in the original ULA campaign as one of the stories, and then now being able to see the other piece, it's kind of like the trifecta of seeking the services, volunteering as a board member, and now working as a staff member to see the day-to-day. And so it's been really impactful, and it's been a really positive experience for me.
Anybody who is looking for recovery or a safe place, I think Lafayette House has kind of always been a well-known place. I grew up in a home where drugs were a normal thing. I got pregnant, no prenatal care. I didn't really have any desire to really change my life at that point in time. I never would have forgiven myself if anything would have been wrong with that child. When he was born, I refused to even open my eyes because I just knew in my heart, I wouldn't have been okay if something, I wanted to ask for help, but I just didn't know how to ask for help. My stepmom, I remember her saying to me, she was like, you have to look at him at least one time, just look at him once. But I knew more than anything in that world, at that moment, I wanted to be his mom, I ended up having to say bye to him that day at the hospital. And I was in the truck with my parents, and I was just like, I want you guys to drop me off at Lafayette House. And my dad was like, what? And I was like, I want to be a mom to that little boy. And I was like, I'm not leaving there until they have a bed for me. So just leave me there. My why was because I knew I was at a place in my life where I desperately wanted and needed a change, and I knew I needed help.
I found out about Lafayette House in 2003 when I was at the end of the road of my addiction, inpatient for 30 days or 28 days, and that kind of set the pace for the last 21 years. I now work in the substance abuse field up in the Kansas City area, and I also was able to work at Lafayette before I did move to Kansas City. I've been clean 9.5 years, but I've been in recovery for 21. It is a safe environment, and that people that are employed there think about the clients, and they really do care. So
I knew that they had a good family program, and I was able to build my bond with my daughter while I was getting sober. I've been here since January 31st. I've learned a lot of coping skills, and that there were other ways besides just medication to get better. I feel like, honestly, if I hadn't come into rehab whenever I did, I would probably be out on the street without my kid right now. So it really saved my family.
Honestly, my kids were in DFS custody. We were going to lose them, and something had to give, and I couldn't continue fighting. My husband and I, we were meth addicts, and the fighting and the physicalness had gotten to a point where we were going to kill each other if we didn't stop. And they're well willing to work with you, and they will give you every tool possible that they can to make sure you're successful. You got to be willing and give it a chance.
Lafayette House is the destination point and the symbol to go into a bright new future. It's not the doom and gloom place. That's what they have left. That's what they've escaped from. And so we're able to be that pivotal step to get them going in the right direction. And so it's not something to be ashamed of or afraid of. It's something to truly embrace.
Lafayette House is so much more than just a safe place. It's a home. We're a family here.